A massive new development is taking shape in Salt Lake City that's going to reshape the entire Salt Lake and Utah economy. Let's talk about the inland port. So what's an inland port? It's a transportation hub, kind of like the Port of Long Beach or any of these ocean ports, but it's inland in another city. It becomes kind of a logistics hub that connects all sorts of major trade routes without being directly on the coast. So there's a bunch of examples of these across the country. There's one in Fort Worth, Texas that was big for Amazon, Walmart, and FedEx, created a ton of jobs. There's also the inland port Greer in South Carolina. This really helped BMW with their supply chain. There's also one in Kansas City, which who thinks of a port city as Kansas City Port? But this strengthened trade with manufacturing and a bunch of companies in that local area. So how does this fit in with Salt Lake City, and how is it going to help transform our local economy in Utah? Let's dive in. So there has been a lot of controversy around this. So is it a game changer or is it a challenge? So what is the Salt Lake Inland Port? So it's located close to I-80, Interstate 15, all of our major rail lines, and the Salt Lake City International Airport. It's in the northwest quadrant of the county and the city. Instead of goods traveling to a coastal port, they'll actually come straight into this inland port where they can be processed, stored, and distributed right here in Utah. So this helps save businesses time and money, and it also helps Utah attract new industries. And that's part of the reason the legislator was so on board for this. Think of it as like a logistics super hub, but what does that mean for jobs, real estate, and our local communities? Let's find out. So supporters of the inland port say it will create thousands of new jobs in industries like logistics, warehousing, and manufacturing. That means more employment opportunities for Utah residents and also for small businesses. And this is one of the big things that I always talk about with our legislator, always bringing jobs to Utah, which supports our housing market. This will drive up demand for commercial and residential real estate, especially in West Salt Lake and these surrounding areas. Like I said, that northwest quadrant. More companies are going to be setting up shop, which means more need for housing, more need for retail, and more need for services. But there are environmental concerns, and not everyone's on board. There's a ton of residents and nonprofits that have been fighting it. Environmental groups are raising concerns about our air quality. We already have issues with that. Also, traffic congestion. We've seen that increasing over the years. And also the impact on Utah's really already struggling air quality. We deal with that all the time. Opponents argue that an increase in truck and rail traffic could worsen our inversion problems that happen each winter, and this will affect public health. There's also been protests and legal challenges demanding stronger environmental regulations on this. And we know Utah is not great with environmental regulation. To address this, some sustainability efforts have been proposed, like cleaner transportation technology and emissions controls, but will those things be enough? Not likely. So where does the inland port stand today? Infrastructure improvements like road expansions and warehouse developments have already started, but the full build out will take years, with different phases rolling out gradually and also in different areas of the state. The next big milestones: attracting key tenants, securing funding, and implementing sustainable measures. So it's a long-term project that's going to take Utah economy decades to fully grow to. So what does this mean for residents and real estate? Because that's what I do, right? So for home buyers and investors, the inland port could drive up property values. So if you already own property, good for you. This is particularly going to happen in areas near the facility. Increased demand for workforce housing will push up rental rates and the property sales prices. But it's just not about real estate. Traffic, zoning changes, and infrastructure development will all impact residents. If you live or work near the port, you'll want to stay informed about what's happening. So those communities are Magna, West Valley, Salt Lake City, all those communities are really close by. So what do you think? Will the Salt Lake City Inland Port be an economic powerhouse, or will it just ruin our air quality, which in turn can ruin our ski industry and our outdoor industry? It's a big question mark. So drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you think is going to happen with this inland port. Is it going to be good or is it going to be bad? Is it going to help Utah or is it going to make it worse? Drop a comment below and like and subscribe to hear more videos like this. Thanks.